All right. Hi, everybody.
Yay!
So, welcome, everyone. First of all, Tom has laryngitis, so he's not going to be speaking. So, sorry to have my back to you. First of all, we'd like to thank each and every one of you who has such an intimate, wonderful role in tomorrow's celebration. Everyone here really is, a big part of it. I know many of you traveled long and far, and it's much appreciated for Emmala and Steve to have their favorite people by their sides tomorrow. Of course, we wish Charlotte and Jake could be here, but Ashby Rose entered the world, and we're so happy for them. And I can only imagine how special it is that Emmala has her grandparents here, and Peg here in spirit, as well as Steve's grandparents. I know that the celebration Holly and David have planned will be beyond special for their beloved Emmala and our special Steve, and will be sprinkled with magical surprises befitting a couple who has an unwavering love, admiration, and respect for each other. And also, I'd like to say this picture that's back there, I'm trying not to cry.
You're doing great.
You're
doing great. Keep it up.
But it's like Emmala's got Stevie's hand, and she's taking him, and she's saying, "Come on, Steve, I'm going to show you a good life." And I just love that picture. In closing, after 36 years of marriage, the best advice that we can give to Steve and Emmala is simple. Always take care of each other, and may God bless you. So let's raise our glasses and toast the very loved bride and groom today.
All right. I'm the first toast of the night. Lucky me. All right. Hi, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Steve's sister, Jackie. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out this weekend and the Moffats for tomorrow. I know it's going to be amazing, and Mom and Dad for tonight. It looks so gorgeous in here. Growing up, Steve and I are 3 years apart. We were always buddies. We had each other to hang out with while Mike was busy being Frank's shadow on the baseball field. He was always my baby brother and so cute. I just loved him until I started getting older and was forced to watch Barney with him on repeat, at which point I resented him a little bit. But I still loved him because he was the cutest kid with blonde curly hair and blue eyes. He was my little Stevie. Steve and I have always remained close, and he's my go-to family member whenever I need advice or someone to talk to that I can trust won't go and blab to the rest of the family. Since besides him, we're all pretty big mouths. Some are loud mouths. For those that don't know, Steve and Emmala met right before COVID, and I could tell whenever I talked with him on the phone, he sounded like he had a little pep in his step, and I could tell something was up. A couple months went by, and as I said, we're big mouths. My dad told me Steve was seeing somebody, but I couldn't say anything. I said, oh my God, I knew it. I had a feeling. Not long after, Emmala came over for dinner, and she was perfect. They were so cute interacting together, and I was thinking to myself, he's really into this girl, and she seems really into him too. As time's gone on, I've only seen Steve become happier and happier. Emmala truly brings out the best in him, and I think that's very apparent for all those that have known Steve for a while. The fact that they made it through dating during quarantine when everybody was bored, had nothing to talk about, no one to hang out with, is quite impressive, especially as a new couple. It's a testament to how great of a duo they are and just how perfect they are for each other. Emmala and I both grew up with only brothers, so to say I'm thrilled to have a sister-in-law like her is an understatement. I'm so happy we get along so well, and I can't wait for all future family events we get to plan together. Let's all raise a glass and cheers to the happy couple and for Steve not being little Stevie anymore. You're welcome. Love you. Love you. So excited. I'm shaking.
That was so sweet.
Thank you. I love you.
And now for Frank.
All right, everybody. I'm going to just wing this thing here. So I'm Frank. I am Steve's oldest brother. He and I are the bookends of the family. Steve's the youngest, obviously. I'm the oldest. You would look at him and probably think he looks a little older than I do, but let's not go there right now. So Emmala and Steve, I've seen you all blossom into something great over the last few years, which has been awesome to see. The love that you all show each other has been accentuated every single time I see you all. Especially the first time I met Emmala. Let's just go ahead and talk about that real quick. Just get that out of the way. So Steve and Emmala had a party over at my parents' house on, Labor Day weekend. So I mosey on in, and Steve's laying there on the couch, and I look over at Emmala, and Emmela's slumped over in my dad's chair, and I said, holy hell. And I said, hey, Emmela, she didn't move one dang bit. She was so hungover. I said, oh, she's fitting right into this family. I said, she's coming in hot. Right then, I said, you know what? I said, she's going to fit in great. So, Emmela, you've been truly a blessing to the entire family. Steve, you're blessed to have her, and vice versa. So, also, I want to sit there and say is, myself, we all have our five senses, right? We all touch, taste, smell, see, and hear. Lucky for you all, I have a sixth sense. You know when I see true love. You all truly love each other. It's awesome to see. I wish you all a blessed life. Many babies, many dogs, whatever you all want to have. Hey, the world is yours. So again, to the Moffats, thank you so much for your hospitality. It was very, very generous. Mom, great job here. Everything looks beautiful. Everybody here, so raise the glass up for Steve and Emmela and give them a cheers.
Nice job.
Everybody, we'll keep this short as well. I'm John, Emmela's youngest brother. This is Hughes, the oldest. And oldest brother, fair enough. Shortest too. We're excited to be here to celebrate Emmela and Steve. I mean, Emmela's always been our team captain, team leader of the family. It's reminding us about birthdays, organizing, presents, generally keeping us in line. We're she's always been there for us. So we're so excited for her to, have met Steve and the great, life that they're building for each other. And love y'all so much. It's great. Wish you all the best.
Yeah. All right, is this thing on? Okay. So, hey, y'all. Emmela's older brother, Hughes, not the taller brother. I'll just jump right into it. First met Steve. I knew something was different just because of the way he treated my sister. I know me and my father and my brother really appreciate that. You've always been there for her, as she is there for you. I'm so happy that Emmela chose you, Steve. We love this family, even Mike. Look forward to many years of happy marriage and healthy children. Emmela, you were the best sister me and John could have asked for growing up. It's been amazing to watch you grow into the woman and person you are. Can't wait to see you and Steve grow as a couple. Congratulations.
Hey, y'all. My name's Alona, and I'm taking full credit for this wedding. Those who don't know me, I'm Steve's friend from Sherwood High School, Olney, Maryland. We went to high school together. And I'm Emmela's coworker of 7 years at Insight Global. Like a lot of millennials, Steve and Emmela's story does involve a dating app, but these two can confidently say that they met through a mutual friend. I'll tell you how. Most people don't have photo evidence of the first time they met their spouse, but lucky for y'all, I do. Please check your tables. The day after, it was December 8th, 2019, the day after fellow bridesmaid Rachel Lavinia and I threw an ugly Christmas sweater party at our place in Arlington. We had the whole Maryland crew over. We drank some pretty gross red punch until it was time to go out. Steve was wearing his infamous, now iconic outfit, doing his favorite Steve dance moves on the floor at Wilson's Hardware, and was too inebriated to drive anywhere by the end of the night. Stupidly, I had signed up for a hot yoga class with Emmela the next morning to sweat out the toxins. Before heading out, I got a text from Steve saying that he had left his keys at our place and he was coming over later to get them. I told him I'd be back after class and we meet him out front. Class is over. Emmela and I are gross. We're sweaty. We walk back, and who do we see at the front entrance other than Steve Alois sitting on a stoop, holding 2 Gatorades, wearing his Mike Tyson Merry Christmas sweater, looking absolutely disheveled, with his little smirk and a hangover. It's great. After an awkward intro, hey Emmela, this is my friend Steve. The three of us headed upstairs, where Steve's greeted by a Smirnoff Ice along with his keys, and he gets down on a knee and downs it in his signature triple chug. Now, Emmela does not know this guy. This is the first time she's seen him in his ugly sweater from the night before. She has a boyfriend at this time, and her first reaction is, oh my God, this guy can drink. Just kidding. Actually, it was ew, and we have the whole thing on tape. Fast forward, Emmela's single now. Not quite ready to put herself out there, but 2 of our coworkers steal her phone and convince her to make a dating app profile just for practice. Lo and behold, second swipe, there's Steve.
They arranged the date. I am freaking out. So happy and excited, trying not to lay it on too thick with Emmala, saying, oh my God, you're going to love him. I finally get the text. Date with Steve went well. I can't wait to tell you about it. I said, oh my God, yes. Holy shit, I can't believe it. Come to Memorial Day weekend with us. Already jumping ahead. They'd met one time. She said, hi, he's so nice, and I'm happy. We have a lot in common. It's crazy. He's hot. Also helps. My heart was happy that day. Emmala later told me that she knew pretty quickly he was the one, the way he treated her, the way they clicked, the way their values and families aligned. I had seen them separately for years. Emmala as this amazing, kind, generous, incredible human, the hostess with the mostest, the planner and the doer, and an elite salesperson. For those that don't know, Emmala is in the top 3% of our company and has been for the last 5 years. Yes. What I admire most about Emmala is the way that you make people feel warm, welcomed, important. Whether it's a little note or a card or a special compliment, you make people feel seen and heard, and you're a good person to your core. I've known Steve for 15 years. He's funny, driven, the class clown, a goofball, an entertainer, a world-class drinker, a caring friend, a great listener, and a great storyteller. If you want your party to be fun, you should invite Steve. So Steve, I'm not sure if it was the dance moves that got her, the ugly Christmas sweater, or what, but I'm so proud and happy for both of y'all, and I'm so thankful to have had a front row seat to your love. Cheers. If you all want to see this. I love you too.
I mean,
Love you.
have you seen this? I'm serious.
Thank you for the pictures.
Yay! Hey, you guys. So I lived with Alona. I also knew Steve and Emmala before they met each other. My name's Rachel. I'm a bridesmaid. I knew Steve from high school, met him in 2008 at Sherwood. We are all in the same group. A lot of those guys are groomsmen now, my best friends. Steve, one of my best friends ever. Met Emmala a decade later, 2018, through Alona, because we lived together in Arlington. Emmala would come over for girls' wine nights where we'd get a little too drunk. We'd make charcuterie boards. We'd go to yoga sculpt, all the basic white girl stuff. And so y'all already heard how Steve and Emmala met at our apartment in Arlington. So I'm going to tell you a little bit what happened after that. So essentially, they met on Bumble, right? So I don't know who in this room has ever been on a dating app. I have. Met my boyfriend through a dating app. Love it. And so when you are a woman on a dating app and you meet a guy who some of your girlfriends know on a dating app, it is a whole different ballgame, okay? You just unlocked access to all the information you could ever need to know about if that guy was worth your time. Girls, you all know, we kind of work for the FBI. We can find the dirt pretty quick. So Emmala texts me and Alona and is like, hey, I matched with Steve. We're like, what are the odds? That's wild. Our worlds colliding, right? So she's like, tell me, what do I need to know? What are the deets on Steve? How should I feel about him? And me and Alona are like, girl, we got you. Lucky for Steve and unlucky for the story, we didn't really have any dirt on him. So we were like, just go for it. He's the best. We think the world of him. He's the greatest ever. And we were secretly kind of like, we hope they end up together because how cool would that be to meld Emmala into our group of friends? So they go on a couple dates before COVID. The world ends, right? Everything shuts down in D.C. and Virginia, and they're not at that point yet where they're gonna go on that intimate date where they cook each other dinner at each other's apartments. So me and Alona have an apartment, mutual friends, Emma and Steve. We're like, oh my God, we will host a wine night, chill wine night on a Tuesday, work from home. And Emma and Steve will come, and Nick was there too. It was 5 of us. It wasn't so chill. We proceeded to drink 8 bottles of red wine for 5 people. And it was a shit show. I'm not going to go into details, but Steve had to call to work the next day. And me and Alona were sitting there like, oh my God, the only thing we can really remember from the night is that Emma and Steve were so great together. It was the first time seeing them together, pre-dating and, forming their bond. Emmala texted us a few hours later and was like, oh my God, you guys, I think I really like Steve. And me and Alona were like, oh. You know, our girl minds jump ahead a little bit. And we're like, oh my God, what if they end up together and they get married? And then now here we are. So we're, again, Alona said it a little before, we're not going to take all the credit, but we're going to take a little bit of credit for this. Love you guys so much. One of my best friends from high school, one of my best friends who I met in my 20s. Couldn't be happier you ended up together. So I want to do a cheers. Obviously, cheers to Emmala and Steve, but I'm going to be a little more specific to cheers to Steve finding a badass, beautiful woman who's going to plan every moment of the rest of his life. Cheers.
You got this. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carlisle, and I stand here as the maid of honor for the radiant and fabulous Emmala Moffett, soon to be Emmala Valois. For a remarkable 18 years, I've had the privilege of calling her my best friend, and it is an honor to be here with you all tonight. I must admit, when Emmala and Steve first got engaged, I barely made it through 3 sentences of a toast before my tears trickled into Mr. Moffat's famous gumbo. So, tonight I have my glass here, and I'm going to try this again with renewed determination. All of our memories are so precious to me. When I think about our friendship, I think about moments of us swapping brightly colored hair scrunchies in school hallways, yelling in the Lovett football stands, singing in our cars as teenagers and as adults, belting every lyric of a John Mayer song at the top of our lungs, running next to one another out by the Chattahoochee River or by the Washington Monument, stalling out at red lights at busy Atlanta intersections, in Emmala's Jeep Wrangler while she was learning to drive stick shift, or unapologetically devouring half a dozen Goldberg's bagels after a cross-country meet. We've always been by each other's side. So much so that in middle school and high school, many teachers thought we were sisters, or sometimes even mixed up our names for one another. We took those mistakes as badges of honor, badges of true best friends. We have always been kindred spirits and there for each other through thick and thin. I think often about how simple and pure and genuine our moments together have always been and continue to be. Like us in high school splitting a Chick-fil-A sandwich together after a tough track practice and talking about how we'll run faster tomorrow. You got it. Okay. Emmala, you have always infused optimism and the purest form of joy into so many moments of my life. You see the best in everyone and miss no opportunity to celebrate others' triumphs and bring all those that you love together. Golly. When I look through photos of us over the past 2 decades, we are often pictured horse laughing. This is such a profound reminder of the light, joy, and bright, captivating energy you bring into this world, into any room that you enter, into anyone's life that has the privilege of knowing you. It goes without saying, Emmala, but you're Wonder Woman, and Steve is so lucky to have found you. It is the best gift to be by your side 2 decades in and watch you take this exciting next step. Almost done. Woo! When Steve came into Emmala's life, I knew he was something extraordinary. I happened to be staying with Emmala in DC when y'all first started dating. Emmala actually brought me on her 3rd date with Steve. It was awesome. On that beautiful day in May, we sat in the sun talking for hours. Steve, you wore your heart on your sleeve. You had a wicked good sense of humor and asked so many thoughtful questions. Steve, you checked all the boxes. I knew that day that this was it. It felt right. So please, join me in raising a glass to the happy couple. To Emmala and Steve, here's to a future filled with so much laughter and countless moments of tenderness, kind-heartedness, and unwavering love and understanding. Cheers to your new life as husband and wife and the beautiful journey ahead. I love you both.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Steve's older brother, Mike. I think it says a lot about a guy who asked his brother to be his best man, which sounds like I don't have a lot of friends. I met Steve back in 1993 on February 24th. And after 30 years, it's nice that Steve has finally acknowledged I am the best man. Steve has always been a little dramatic, and I edited this speech about 10 minutes ago because earlier at the brewery today, he got stung by a bee. And he had an ice bag and a thing around like he was a Civil War hero, like his hand was chopped off. And it brings me back to Fort Lauderdale on his bachelor party when the perfect storm kicked up. And everyone was in the water having a good time, and it was like Forrest Gump, and it was sideways. And Steve was up there with two towels, like he was, sitting there like a Coast Guard victim getting rescued from the Titanic. You're more of a land guy. There's been many fights over the years, being brothers, over Madden, darts, football, golf, and I am so thankful Emmala has calmed Steve down over the years because this speech would have been written way differently before. I like to refer to it as before Emmala. She leads, Steve follows. She's sort of like a snake charmer, like the doo-doo-doo. She calms him down. Steve and I, my mom was always there to break up our fights, but it always was her on his side. Do you really have to make fun of him? I've known Steve for 30 years, and I like this Steve the best. Emmala has changed Steve in so many ways and made him a better man. Apparently, you're supposed to compromise in a relationship. I guess that's why we're not celebrating my wedding, am I right? That guy went from not even looking at a calendar to now I got to schedule a calendar date just to talk to him. You all know what I'm talking about. You see Emmala's stories, Steve sitting there sweating, just acting like he's having a good time. To quote Griffin Wilson, Steve doesn't like to be outside if the weather is between 68 and 70 degrees. Now, in preparation for the speech, I turned to Google, and it said to be complimentary, to be kind, to be honest. And if you're nervous, to just picture everyone naked. And David, I didn't know it was that cold in here.
Nice.
Emmala and Steve are two people who truly love each other, and it's honestly been so great to see their love grow over the years. They are incredible dog parents, not to be morbid, but I think one of the hardest things we all watch is when they lost Cash. I've never seen two people love a dog more, and my mom always said, good comes from bad. And in that tragic loss, it was hard to see any good, but what I did see was two people who were visibly broken, but they were broken together and came out stronger on the other end. And Willie is one of the luckiest dogs in the world to have as parents. Emmala, you look absolutely beautiful tonight, and I think the world of you. Thank you to the Moffats, thank you to my parents, and cheers to the Veloices.
Cheers.
I didn't think I was going to cry. Jesus, dude.